Today we're talking about something that can feel a little mystical when you're new to handicapping. Sire ratings. In plain English, we're asking, what does a horse's dad tell us about the horse's chances today? Because if you've ever stared at a past performance page and wondered why people get excited about bloodlines, this episode is for you. And to be clear, we're not saying the sire is some magic cheat code. But sire ratings can be a really solid clue, especially when a horse is lightly raced, switching surfaces, stretching out, cutting back, or trying something new where the past performances don't give you much.
Exactly. So let's build this from the ground up. A sire rating, depending on where you're getting it, is basically a summary of how a stallion's offspring tend to perform in specific situations. It might be overall win percentage, earnings, class level, speed, or more commonly, how they do on dirt versus turf, in sprints versus routes, or on wet tracks.
Right, and different data providers package it differently. Some display a single number. Some show rankings. Some show stats like wins from starts and ROI. But the key idea is the same. The sire gives you a probability hint about aptitude.
Let's take an example you'll see all the time. A horse has 2 races on dirt that look kind of average. Today they're trying turf for the first time. Past performances can't tell you if the horse will love turf, but the sire rating might. If the sire is known for turf runners, maybe high win rate on turf or strong turf earnings, that's your first reason to think this might not be a random experiment.
And the reverse is powerful too. If the sire's offspring are consistently poor on turf, you can downgrade the horse even if the trainer is trying something new. It doesn't mean the horse can't do it, just that the baseline odds are worse.
So here's how I like to use sire ratings. I treat them like a tiebreaker or a missing data patch, not the first thing I look at. Step 1 is still pace picture, speed figures, form, class, trip notes, trainer intent. But if I'm stuck between 2 similar horses, sire ratings can nudge me.
I'm with you, but I'll push a little. There are spots where sire ratings can move from tiebreaker to center stage, mostly with young horses. 2-year-olds, early season 3-year-olds, and first-time starters. When they haven't shown much yet, pedigree matters more because you're handicapping potential.
That's fair, especially with first-time starters. You don't have running lines, so you're looking at workouts, trainer patterns, and pedigree. And sire ratings can help answer questions like, is this stallion throwing early speed types? Do they win first out? Do they tend to handle the local surface?
Let's break down the most useful categories of sire information for everyday handicapping. First, surface. Dirt, turf, synthetic. Some sires are versatile. Others are specialists. Second, distance, sprint versus route. Third, condition like wet track performance. Fourth, age and development. Do the babies come out firing at 2, or do they want time?
And there's a fifth that people forget, class level. Some sires are commercial and produce a lot of runners, but not a lot of winners at higher levels. Others might not have huge volume, but when they hit with quality. Depending on the rating system, you might see that reflected in things like average earnings per starter or stakes performance.
Now we should also say what sire ratings are not. They're not a guarantee about your specific horse. The sire is only half the genetics. The dam matters. The trainer matters. The horse's physical makeup matters. And maybe the biggest thing, sample size.
Sample size is everything. If a sire has only had, say, 12 turf starters and 5 won, that looks amazing on paper, but it might not hold up long term. Meanwhile, a major sire with 800 turf starters has a much more reliable profile, even if the win rate is only average.
So a practical rule. The flashier the number, the more you should check whether it's built on real volume. And if your data source doesn't show sample size, be cautious about putting too much weight on it.
Let's talk about a classic handicapping moment where sire ratings shine, stretching out for the first time. You've got a horse that's been running 5 to 6 furlongs and now goes to a mile or more. The horse might be fast early but questionable late. What can the sire tell you?
Plenty. If the sire consistently produces route winners and the progeny holds speed around 2 turns, that's a positive. If the sire is known for sprint speed and the offspring often flatten out beyond 7 furlongs, that's a red flag. It helps you decide whether today's distance change is logical or wishful thinking.
Same idea for cutting back in distance. If a horse is coming out of routes and dropping into a sprint, some of them get sharper and show more speed. Others look slow because they just don't have that sprint punch. Sire tendencies can hint which way it's likely to go.
Another big one. First time on a wet track. A horse can look great on fast dirt and then totally fail in the slop. If you have a sire whose offspring tend to handle off tracks, that's a plus. If the sire's record in the slop is poor, you might demand a better price before betting.
And speaking of price, that's the betting lens we have to keep on every stat. Even if a sire rating suggests an advantage, it only matters if the odds compensate you for the uncertainty. If pedigree hype is baked into the price, there's no edge.
Sometimes the obvious pedigree horse is 8-5 because everybody sees the same thing. In that case, the better play might be finding the quieter pedigree signal. A horse with modest form, overlooked in the betting, but sneaky good for today's surface or distance based on sire.
Let's get tactical. If someone listening wants a workflow, here's one. First, handicap the race normally and identify the contenders. Second, circle the horses with uncertainty. First-timers, surface switches, distance changes, lightly raced. Third, use sire ratings to answer one specific question per horse, like, will this horse handle turf, or can they get a mile?
And fourth, don't stop at the sire if you can help it. If your past performances show dam stats, or dam's offspring notes, those can be gold. Sometimes the sire is average for turf, but the dam has produced turf winners. Or vice versa. You're trying to build a more complete picture.
Let's also address a common mistake. People see a high sire rating and assume the horse is a good bet no matter what. But even the best turf sire in the world can't fix a terrible pace setup, a horse that's outclassed, or a runner that looks like they're going the wrong way form-wise.
Here's another mistake. Using sire ratings in isolation without understanding what the number measures. Some ratings are about winners. Some are about earnings. Some are relative to the population. Some are track-specific. If you don't know what you're looking at, you can draw the wrong conclusion.
So if your data source gives an ROI for sire stats, that's interesting because it can hint at market bias. For example, a sire might be popular and overbet, leading to poor ROI even if the win rate is fine. Another sire might be unfashionable, but profitable because the public underrates those horses.
That's a great point. In betting terms, you're not just asking who wins. You're asking, where does the crowd misprice information? Sire ratings are public information, but not everyone uses them well, and not everyone uses them in the right situations.
Let's do a mini scenario. Say you've got horse A and horse B. Both have similar speed figures. Horse A has proven turf form at today's distance. Horse B is switching to turf for the first time, but has a sire with a strong turf profile. How do you approach it?
I start with price. If horse A is the favorite and horse B is a decent number, the sire angle might make horse B a great value play, especially if there are other signals like a trainer who's good with turf moves. But if horse B is also being hammered at the windows, I might just stick with the proven horse or pass.
And I'd also consider how the race is likely to be run. If turf typically rewards a certain pace style at that course, and horse B's running style fits, then the pedigree becomes an extra reason to take the chance. If horse B's style is wrong for the layout, the sire rating may not save them.
One more angle, local surfaces. Some tracks have unique dirt compositions or synthetic tracks that play their own way. Over time you'll hear people say, "This sire's horses love this place." Track-specific sire stats can be noisy, but when backed by enough runners, they're worth a glance.
So where does this leave us? Sire ratings are best used as a contextual tool. They help you handicap what you can't see yet, aptitude before it shows up in the running lines. But you still want to marry it to the basics: pace, class, form, and price.
If you want a simple takeaway, use sire ratings most aggressively with young horses and horses doing something new. Use them cautiously when the horse already has a clear record that answers the question. And always respect sample size and the odds.
Next time you're looking at a race and you're tempted to say, "I have no idea if this horse can run on turf," or "I don't know if they can get the distance," remember, you might not need certainty. You just need a better estimate than the public, and pedigree can be part of that edge.
And if you're building tickets, exactas, trifectas, multi-race sequences, Sire Ratings can be a really smart way to find a live long shot to include underneath or as a backup. Not because it's guaranteed, but because the payoff is there when the crowd guesses wrong.
That's the episode. Next time, we can go deeper into combining Sire Ratings with trainer patterns and workouts, because that trio, pedigree, intent, and preparation, can tell a pretty complete story.
Until then, keep it simple. Ask one pedigree question at a time, use it where it matters, and don't let a shiny rating override what the race is actually telling you.